welcome back to America's Real Estate Show. We are so excited that you are here with us today. And if you are new, welcome on the behalf of myself and our entire team. I'm Ashley, your host, and we bring top producers right here to our studio in Chicago every single week so that they can share their secrets to success to help you fast track your success. And today we have an absolutely amazing individual who is just crushing it on social media. He is going to be wrapping up our finale to the 3-part series that we have been doing all about social media. So if you would, please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Robert Cedeno. Hello, Robert.
Hey, how's it going?
So good to see you. Thank you so much for making this journey from California, all the way from California, actually my home state before I moved to Dallas. So thank you so much for being with us today. And before we dive in to what we're going to be unpacking with everything that you've been doing on social media, I'd love for you just to share with everyone, what are they going to get a glimpse into today? What can they kind of anticipate learning from you today?
Yeah, I want to really just show people that they can go all in on social media, get the right results. So many agents focus on the clout side of the social media, so they focus on the views, the likes, the followers, and that's all good. But really, at the end of the day, how do you begin to do social media the right way to attract business, to attract leads? At the end of the day, you serve more people and you serve your family. So I'm excited to share that.
All right, right on. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right to your success, and I wanna read off just a couple of statistics for everyone who's watching and listening. So people see the 7 million in GCI, the 350 million in sales, the millions of views on social media. You and your team are in the top 1% in the entire state of California, which is massive. What they don't see is the struggle before this success, right? So I want to dive just a little bit into what was it like growing up in Section 8 housing? Yeah. And could you have ever imagined that you would be where you are today?
Yeah, I think growing up in Section 8 housing as a kid, we didn't know we were in Section 8 housing, right? So you go through it and you see the struggles, you see some emotion there from my mom, my grandma, and I remember going to pick up food stamps. I remember going to the food banks, and I remember that, but it was normal for us. And so it wasn't anything that I really thought about, like, hey, is this really my life? Until I went to school and I started realizing that not everybody did that. And then I started thinking about, it's like, okay, well, they have both their parents around. I don't. We always are at food banks. They're going to nice restaurants. We're not. There's something different, right? And I always, as a kid, I always talked about having money, being buff. I'm still working on the buff part, but I always thought about that. I always kind of came back to me. So not really knowing what was out there, but I knew there was more than just the way we're living.
Right. So you had a lot of different types of sales jobs, you know, kind of speaking of your journey, right? You had worked at Sears, T-Mobile. You shared with me that you were selling car parts in scrap yards. You even drove a forklift for a period of time. So I'm really curious to know, when was it in your life? Can you remember that one moment, or maybe it was a series of moments where you said to yourself, I don't want to live like this anymore?
Yeah. I'd probably go back to 2015 when I gave my life to God. That was a huge moment for me, right? I was able to give my life to God, and it wasn't like, this is not a prosperity thing, right? But it was like a light switch. I was living a certain way, doing all this crazy stuff, and then all of a sudden, I got another opportunity at life. God saved me, and I was able to go in and just realize there was more. So I started reading the Bible. I started reading other books, and I got all this information from people who have done it in the past, and I just realized, like, I'm living a life that's not honoring to God, but I'm also living a life that's leading to death. And so with that, I had to make a pivot, and it was like I gave my life to God, and then success came after that. And it was just crazy to put both of them together and realize that my life was going to go in a whole different way than where it was going. I mean, I always thought like, hey, if I end up, dead at 45, like, hey, at least I lived a good life. But now I'm thinking like, man, how can I live to 120, right? I want to be able to continue to spread the gospel and all this stuff. And so that's what excites me.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And what that reminds me of is that I think all of us are just one decision away, maybe one conversation away from completely turning our life around. And you made that one very critical decision that put you on a completely different path in your life. And so that took a lot of courage. And I know that everyone hearing what you just shared is going to be a massive inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing that part of your journey.
Yeah.
Appreciate that so much. So what I want to know is that when you decided to get into real estate, I remember you sharing with me, I never even wanted to be a real estate professional.
Yeah.
But you did get into real estate, and then you were Rookie of the Year, and you've had truly, massive success. There's definitely been a journey. So let's take everyone back to maybe what that first year in real estate was like for you. Because I remember you sharing, you were just like, I am going to be, like literally in your words, you were like, I am going to be God's gift to real estate.
Yes.
And then it ended up being something very different. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I got to sit up for that one because,
Yeah.
I did come into real estate thinking I was going to be God's gift to real estate. I was like, man, I'm going to come in, I'm going to sell 100 homes, right? And I went 8 months with no transactions. And I was doing everything, door knocking, I was cold calling, I was doing all the open houses, but yet I wasn't getting any results. And then I came to a moment where I'm like, hey, I'm going to stick it out, right? We always have those moments. Are we going to continue to push forward? And I remember the moment like it was yesterday. I walked into my mentor's office and I was like, 4 escrows fell out, man. I had opened up 4 escrows, all 4 fell out. And Alfonso, my mentor at the time, was saying, hey, 1 falls out, I get it. 2 falls out, it happens, but 4? He's kind of looking at me like, yeah, it might be time to hang it up, brother, right? And so he says that, and I remember looking at him dead in the eye, and I was so serious, and I just remember telling him, this is going to be one heck of a story one day. And I had that conviction, and I remember walking away like I was Conor McGregor, right? Like, he's swinging the arms and everything, and but I had that conviction that I was going to make this happen no matter what. And I kept praying about it. And yeah, there was those days where I struggled and I was at the bottom. And I remember I had proposed to my wife during this time, right? As I started my real estate career. Now, 6 months later, we're about to get married, still no closed deals. And I'm supposed to be providing for my wife. I'm supposed to be the provider and I have nothing going on. And I remember her asking me like, where are we going to live? And I didn't have an answer for her. So she was holding it down as, she was, working her job, holding it down. And I remember we hadn't lived together yet until after we got married. But I remember sitting in our empty apartment. All I had was a desk, a chair, and a bed. And I remember tears just coming down and saying, God, like, if this is what you want me to do, if this is what you need me to do, just show me a little bit of light. Like, I promise that I'm going to continue to honor you. I promise that I'm going to continue to do the work. I just need a little bit. I need to provide, right? And that was my goal, was to provide. So we all go through those struggles, right? We all go through those down times. But that's when you have to push forward. That's why so many people quit in this industry. We have so many people falling out. Why? Because they just give up. They can't go through that struggle. You're going to go through it. You can't avoid it. So that was kind of how I started out in real estate. And then after that moment, I got 3 closings my first month. And then I was hitting the floor running, right? And I ended up getting Rookie of the Year in 2018 at an office. I had like 350 agents. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, amazing. Are you kidding me? Rookie of the Year, right? I'm just imagining you sitting in your empty apartment and crying out to God, literally, which I mean, brings tears. Everyone knows I always cry on the show, and I'm like, it's too early for me to start crying. But I mean, that is just so beautiful. And when we were talking about this prior to the show, I asked you, how did you keep going, right? Because you're just in what I would call just kind of this pit of despair.
Yeah.
And we all have to have hope to get ourselves out, right? And you shared with me, I prayed a lot, and I felt like God told me not to give up.
That's right.
And I felt like there was a plan and God's plan, and I had to stick with it.
Every day.
And so how do you feel today, even right now in this moment, remembering back when you were crying out to God and you felt like he said, keep going, and you listened, you obeyed, you did it. It wasn't easy, but you're here.
Yeah, I think grateful. The word is grateful. I don't deserve anything, but I work for it, and God does honor that, and so for me it was just knowing that I had to keep pushing through, and even waking up today, getting ready for the show, I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm about to do a show right now. Like, this is insane. I remember sitting at events in the crowd, and I remember thinking, like, that's going to be me one day. And now it's happening, right? We're speaking on different stages with different people. It's just crazy that it has all come together. And it's just about being faithful and sticking to it, because I'm not the smartest dude. I'm not the most good looking. I mean, I'm up there, but I know I'm willing to outwork anybody
100%,
all the time.
100%. You have work ethic like no other.
Yeah.
So let's take this opportunity to kind of transition and break down your social media system, your mindset, because the way you leverage social media is very different, and there is no doubt that it is working.
Yeah.
So I want to read a quick stat that you gave me and then start kind of breaking down your system. You shared with me that 98% of agents are posting basically the wrong types of content.
Yeah.
They aren't posting the right kind of content to get engagement. So I want to first start out by asking you, what do you mean by that? So let's start what are they doing wrong? What do they need to be doing right? And then we're going to kind of we'll give them a high level overview, and then we'll kind of break down each step.
Awesome. So that 98%, I totally made that number up, but it just seems right. And the type of content that I'm seeing realtors do right now is self-serving, right? They do content for their ego, they do content for clout, they do content that serves them, and it doesn't serve others. So how do we create content that's going to be able to serve others? Number one, for us, home tours, right? Like, and I know we're going to get into that.
Yep.
But that people get to see the houses, right? Also, like, talking videos. How do we provide value to the consumer? So when it comes down to doing content, we see it too many times, right? We see the picture just listed, just sold, just closed. Who's that serving? That's serving nobody but the realtor. The realtor's saying, hey, look at me. Look how many homes I'm selling, right? And it's just not the right approach. So we want to put ourselves in the consumer's mind and say, hey, what does the consumer want, and how do I provide value? The more that I lead with value, the more results that we're going to get as a team. And that's the way we approach all our content, right? So that's part of what we have going on when it comes to content. We put ourselves in that mind frame of what does the consumer want.
Perfect.
And need.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm so glad that you brought up home tours, because I did write down that you shared with me that 70% of all of your leads are coming through the home tour videos.
Yep.
So I really want to get into that and spend time there, because obviously you're doing something very different with your home tours than perhaps other agents right now. So let's talk about why you think those are different, and so we can really teach everyone who's watching and listening, just a couple of gems on how you're doing your home tours, so that maybe, they're going to have an aha moment, and it could just take like one little tweak, right? One little tweak. Like my husband would say, I know you're watching, babe. He's a scratch golfer, and it's like one little tweak, to his game. He just won the club championship, by the way.
Shout out,
babe. So what's one little tweak that maybe they can do in the home tours?
For home tours, you just have to do more. You have to do more home tours than others. Everyone thinks about home tours. Everyone says, man, so many people are doing it. I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. But they're still proven, right? That's how we generate 70% of our leads, and we're generating over 350 leads per month. So who doesn't want 350 leads coming into their CRM? And it's been because of home tours. That's our staple. That's how we started. I started doing home tours in 2019 through stories, and then it went into Reels. Page blew up, right? The house is the sexy thing. The house is the sexy thing. Sometimes we are too, but for the most part, it's gonna be the house, right? And it shows well, especially if you find a nice one that's staged, new construction, whatever it may be. So that's gonna be the route to go. Now, when it comes to home tours, it's always changing. So we do 3 types of home tours. Number 1, we do a highlight video. And a highlight video is real simple, right? We go to the main parts of the house and we'll focus on the front of the house. And then we go in and we focus on the kitchen, and then the master bedroom, master bath, maybe in one of the kids' room, or maybe the loft, the backyard, the pool. And we take 3 to 4 second shots and we clip those down to 1.2 seconds to about 2 seconds, typically not longer than 2 seconds. And then we just put it together. It's the easiest video to create because you can do it all on Instagram. Cut the video down, cut the video down, cut the video down. Now you have a 12-second to 20-second video of a highlight of that house, and you put that on there with some good music, some good text, a good call to action, you're gonna get results. So when it comes to home tours, it's the easiest thing to do. I can go to a house right now, right here, and film it, I'm gonna get some views. And then on top of that, now I wanna maximize the amount of time that I'm at one home. So I'll jump in and do the highlight video, but then I'm also doing a full home tour. So I'm going through and I'm walking through the whole thing, post-edit, I'm gonna speed through the parts where I'm walking or I have walls, and I'm just going to the main parts again. So now I'm taking a 1.5-minute video, shrinking it down to about 40 seconds. That's a second type of video. So with the home tours, there's so many ways that you can film them. When I go to a house, I get about 5 to 7 videos per house. And then I'm just rotating those.
Right. I mean, and what what came to mind is that what you're doing is truly creating a full content series from one house. Right. I mean, you just scratched the surface on the way that you shoot your home tours, right? So I'd love to go a little bit deeper, because I know when we were prepping for this show, you shared tons of great examples. And what I wrote down is that you are doing a highlight video, which you just mentioned. You're doing a let's go check it out video. Yep. And then you're doing this full home tour video. So maybe go just a little bit deeper into, let's break down each one of those and maybe share with our audience 1 to 2 key things that they can remember when they're going to shoot a highlight video, the let's go check it out, and then the full home tour.
Yeah. So you got to remember, you're already going to this house. So let's maximize the amount of time. So I know that I'm going to go there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out my phone. I usually have a mic on, and I'm going to stick my little chubby hand out, and I'm going to say, check out this amazing home in the city of Whittier. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, right? 1,800 square feet. Let's go check it out, right? And you guys be surprised, I don't do anything after that video. I literally take that part of my hand, I post it, but now I go and record the highlight, the speed through. So now, let's say 6 days later, I'm taking that highlight video. Now I'm sticking it behind that same pointing fingers that I already post, and then I have a second video, right? And I'm doing the same thing for talking. I'm doing the same thing for the selfie. Let's go check it out. I'll post it with nothing, and then the highlight video after that. And so all I'm doing is I'm just seeing if one of these videos are gonna hit. If I post a video and it gets 600 views, who cares? I'm gonna post another one later. It doesn't matter. So what I do there is I'm more playing on the volume side, because if I give myself a better opportunity to have one hit if I do 7 to 10 posts than just focusing on one video, right? How many times have we done this? We focus on one video at one house, and it goes and it gets 500 views, 3 likes, and you're like, man, social media doesn't work. This sucks. But, right, if I give myself more opportunity, I can have one do 600 and I can have another one do 600,000, right? And I have videos that have gotten 1.2 million views, 2 million views, 4 million views. But that only comes because I set myself up the right way, and that's through doing multiple types of home tours when I'm there. So hope that answered that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's a way that you do your full home tour. So let's talk about that as well. And then maybe if you can break down for us. So you have these, I'm just going to call them your top 3 types of videos.
Yeah.
Highlight, let's go check it out, and then your full home tour. So let's then talk about the cadence of how you then post those, because that would be good for everyone to know how you're kind of spreading them out.
Love that. So I batch content, everything, right? So I batch everything, batch record, batch edit, I'll post, I'll schedule out. But the biggest thing is I won't just go to one house. I'm gonna go to 4 or 5 houses. It's gonna be about 4 or 5 hour process, but I know I'm gonna go there, get 6 videos, 6 videos, 6 videos, 6 videos. So now I'm able to rotate those videos. So they're not just getting the same house for a whole week. That would be pretty boring, right? So now, if hopefully the house is gonna stay on the market for about 2 weeks or so, I'm taking that risk. Even though it goes pending sometimes, I'll still post it. Don't tell the listing agent that. But we'll just rotate the video. And then sometimes I get an edit and I don't like it, I throw it away because I have more videos that I'm gonna post. But the only reason this works is because I'm going to 5 properties instead of just 1. So really the cadence could be drone video one day, right, of that one house. And then 3 days later, they get the pointing one. And then 3 days later, they're gonna get the full tour, right? And then, hey, tomorrow, they might accept an offer. Let me just throw another one out real quick to get the video out. So we don't have an exact science. I just know that I look at my phone, I'm like, all right, this one's ready to go. I'm posting it because, I don't know, I'm waiting for my next appointment. Like, I'm just ready to go. And I have the video already edited because I batch edit that content. So it's not so much a time frame or it's not so much a day, just when I have time, I'm gonna post.
So let's give everyone an idea, and I'm so glad that you mentioned, a couple of homes and you're basically batch recording, and this works for you. For some people it might not work, but this show is all about what's working for you.
Yeah.
So how many homes a week would you say you are shooting?
Yeah, you just need to go to 5 to 6 homes a week, right? And so when we do these home tours, also, let's say you don't have the time to go 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours to go record content. So as you're doing your appointments, this is how I would do it before because I was busy with buyers and listings. So if I were to schedule out a buyer appointment where I'm going to show, I would leave an hour earlier, find a vacant home next to it, get permission from the listing agent. You must get permission, right? Because I film, for the most part, they're not my listings. And I would go, film the whole house, get content, and then I'm meeting up with my client after, and I'm like, hey, I felt good. I just got some content. Now we're meeting you. And then, hey, appointment's done. Let me find another home, right? So now I'm all about maximizing time. I'm already showing the home. I'm already leaving my beautiful family to go out and work. I'm gonna go work, right? How many times have we gone to buyer's appointments like, oh, we didn't get nothing done here, right? Like, they hated every single house. When I go, I'm getting content, so at least I know, hey, I went for the close, but I also got a bunch of content. So that's gonna be something that you can include when you're doing work. How many times do we go and we're just waiting outside of a house, scrolling social media, you're on TikTok for an hour, and you're looking like, oh gosh, my client's late again. Go record content, pull out the phone, right? Earlier today, we're waiting for the setup. I took out my phone. Guys, I'm about to do this show. This is insane. Guess what? I'm gonna use that content later. I'm not waiting for nobody, right? I'm doing the work when the opportunity comes up.
I love that. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that you're not shooting your own listings.
Yeah.
I think that is so cool for everyone to hear, right? Because we could have a lot of agents watching and listening today thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, well, that's amazing that Robert's shooting, 5 videos, and they're thinking that maybe these are all your own listings, but they're not.
Hardly ever.
So let's talk about how you're finding the homes that you want to shoot. And then how are you having the conversation with the listing agent? Because I know agents are going to be wondering that. How do I approach a listing agent about going to shoot their home?
Yeah.
And you're not just looking for vacant properties either. So let's talk about the types of homes that you do shoot and how you have those conversations with listing agents.
Yeah, real simple, right? we're professionals, right? We're the authority. Even when it comes down to shooting content, you have to show up with the same energy, right? So when I call a listing agent, I'm like, hey, would it be okay? I'm like, hey, I'm in the area. I get a ton of views. Is it okay if I shoot your listing? I'll give you full credit, all that. Sound good? I'll be there in 30 minutes, right? And I go with that approach. Same thing if I'm setting it up the same day. I'm sending the text, hey, my name is Robert. I'm the owner of the Cedeno group. So you guys are owners of your own group, whatever. So give yourself a title, right? That's gonna help. Like, oh, an owner of a team here? Yeah, right. And so I say, I'm owner of the team. Is it? Can I do a video walkthrough of your listing? And I just send it to 12 people. About 4 are gonna say yes for the most part. Some are gonna say no way. Great. Who cares, right? Move on to the next one. I'm here about volume. And I'm going with that approach. And I'm also, after I ask, or before I ask, when I'm looking for these homes, I'm looking for, is it vacant? Is it staged? Does it show well? Or can I go to a new construction community and film those? Because those always look nice. They're typically staged. I stay away from beat up homes. I stay away from bad like curb appeal. I stay away from those homes. And then you also have to find your niche, right? What type of homes are you gonna be known for? So if you film condos, you're gonna get people who can afford condos. If you film mobile homes, you wanna be the mobile home king, you're gonna get clients who can afford mobile homes, right? So you also have to find out who is your ideal client, go find those homes and just stick to filming those. Because then if you start filming, and we fall into this trap too, we'll film a $500,000 home, and then we film a $3 million home, and there's a huge gap there, right? So you have to find out what's working for you. But it's real simple when it comes down to finding the right homes. Use the MLS. You can put in a little find the vacant homes, and then I'm finding the most recent days on market. So I'm trying to find the ones that come out in the last 7 days that look really nice. And then I'm hitting them, and then I'm setting up my day. Hey, which ones can I hit? You also want to build relationships with listing agents in the area. So if there's a listing agent that sells a lot of homes in your area, build a relationship with them. We have this guy, Michael, in our area. He does no social media. It's the craziest thing. He won't get in front of the camera. He's kind of an odd guy, but this guy is a legend. He gets $2 million listings. He's like, if it's under $2 million, I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, bro, perfect. We'll film it. And so he gets his network of people. So now he goes to the seller and says, hey, I have a network of agents who get millions of views. I'm going to have a content day. They're going to come. That's a ton of value. So again, provide value to the consumer, but also provide value to other agents. You're going, tell them what you're going to be able to do for them, and they're going to give you the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, those were so many gems right there, just in that one little segment. Let's go back for just a quick minute about how you set up your searches in MLS. Because again, everything that you're doing is with intention and purpose and strategy, because you don't have time to waste. Your goal is you want to shoot 5 to 6 homes a week. And so you are always on the hunt for what homes am I going to be filming for your home tours, especially since those are the types of videos that are bringing in over 70% of your leads. So let's just take a minute and touch on how you're setting up your MLS searches.
Yeah, it's real simple. I believe most MLS are going to be the same, but I go to the residential, go to detail. I'll pick active. I'll select a certain amount of days, typically under 30 days. So I'll go to 0 to 30, and then occupant type, I go vacant. And then once I get the list of results, I'll do days on market, which will give me the ones that are most recent. And then I'm just going through each one. Now this one sucks. Condo, no thank you. Next, oh, this one's awesome. And I'm gonna send a text. You know what? This one's actually really good. Let me call the agent so they know who I am, and do it that way. So I'm looking at it. I'm prepping everything. Usually, a lot of times, I like to look at homes at night when I'm with my kids. Putting it in the bed, and I'm just screenshotting it, and then I'm sending them out, or I'm looking the next day to be able to schedule those. But it's like if I'm my own client, I'm setting up my own search and I'm saving that search. So now when I go back and to open up my MLS, it's already saved. I opened it up in the exact area that I want, criteria, and then we're asking.
That's perfect.
Easy.
And Okay, and so now let's go back to the listing agent because again, I just really want to highlight
Yeah.
these aren't your listings. So how are you giving the listing agent credit? Because I think that would be something else that would be really great for everyone watching and listening today to know so that they can apply the same type of strategy.
Yeah. So number one, give the permission or get the permission. You have to. That we've gotten. I think one guy on our team got a violation for not getting permission. So make sure you get that from them. Typically, you want it in writing. So text, email is always good. But I like to live life on the edge. If they give me a yes on the phone, I'm just going with it, right? Cost of doing business. But with that, the way I set up the post and the description, when I give them credit, I'll put all these call to actions. I know we'll talk about in a bit. I'll put a part of their description. If it's a resale home, I'll just kind of take it from Zillow, make it easy, post it on there, and then I put marketed by Robert Cedeno. I put my Realty of America, my DRE, and then listed by, and I put their office, the office DRE, their DRE, and the MLS number. And I just have it. It's already a template. We have it set up. We're just replacing names and everything and sending it out. Now, the easiest way to do this, and my kind of hack to that is I go to Zillow, and it has listed by already, and I just copy it, and I put it into my notes, and I put part of the description, put it into my notes. We already have the template set up, and then I go to my notes, copy and paste, and then I post it on Instagram.
All right, that is perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
for breaking that down. Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about your lifestyle types of videos. So you call these lifestyle and location videos.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that because that's a different type of video that you create. You're not just doing home tours. So let's touch on and give agents an idea of what these look like for you.
Yeah, you want to be able to switch it up, right? You don't want to just do home tours because there's a lot of people doing the home tours already. We talked about that. So a way we switch that up is, again, going back to your niche, right? Who is the client that you're serving? What type of lifestyle are they having, right? Do they have kids? Are they going to the lake? Are they going to these parks? Are they going to downtown to eat, right? And we are able to showcase those type of lifestyles. And there's a couple of ways of doing these videos, right? Have we all heard of POV videos, right? Real simple to do. You're filming, you're kind of getting B-roll content, we call it. So let's say we go in our area in Riverside, we have the Mission Inn, right? You film the Mission Inn, you go, you're gonna film your food, and then now you can do a voiceover, or you can just do text on screen. POV, you move to Riverside, and now you're joining, X lifestyle, right? And you're gonna speak to those people that want to have those lifestyle. And that also kind of mixes in with location. Right? What's in that area? What type of restaurants are in that area? What kind of entertainment can they get? So now I'm putting all these videos together with voiceovers. I could even do talking videos, but voiceovers and text on screen are going to be the best for these. There's a couple of people that I like to follow, like Sarah Ayala out in Riverside, California. She does probably one of the best jobs of doing these like location and lifestyle, and she only focuses on those areas. So if you're not following her, follow her. She spoke out at one of our events. She's great, super humble, and she has built her whole page on doing those type of videos. And one thing that she mentioned to me that I thought it was crazy. I was like, hey, what app do you use to edit? She's like, I don't. I use Instagram. I'm like, oh, crazy. That's insane. What are you filming with? Like, your videos look really good. She's like, I just use my iPhone 15. I'm like, you don't have the newest one? That's crazy. Like, what are we doing? So she's making it real basic, right, on these lifestyle and location videos, and she's creating videos as she's living life, right? We all live a life outside of what we do here. Now all you got to do is stick out your phone and record, right? Just got to remember to record. You tell your husband or wife, like they're mid-bite, like, hey, hold on, let me get the record the food, right? You want to be that annoying person. Why? This is what we do, right? You have to become obsessed with your business, right? And if you have set some boundaries, that's totally fine, that's cool. But hey, any opportunity I get to create content and it's lifestyle location, I'm gonna do it. But that would be the other way to create content. It's the easiest way.
Right, and let's go back to something I want to highlight that you just mentioned about Sarah, is that she has built her whole social media presence doing text on screen and voiceover. And I really want agents to hear that and give them hope that maybe that's going to be their best place to start. If they're not super comfortable, being on camera yet, there is someone else that you just mentioned who is absolutely crushing it with these types of videos. So can you share just a little bit more about what you personally like about Sarah's style and kind of break down for maybe the person who doesn't know what you mean by text on screen videos?
Yeah, absolutely. So what she focuses on, and there's another guy named Tim Smith in Idaho that does a good job too. His page has just blown up in the last like 6 months. So one thing I'm always watching what people are doing, because I'm just gonna rip off what they're doing. I'm gonna duplicate it, right? Now I'm gonna do it at a higher level because I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna do more than them. That's a different note. But what she does a really great job is she's not necessarily in front of the camera, but people still hear her voice and still see her in the shots, but she's not talking. She's just like picking up a flower, right? Like a vase or something. Or she's like tacos, right? And she's not talking, and she makes the content super easy, and people are attracted to that. People look at these type of videos, they're easy, they're not too much, they're providing value, right, of the location, so you don't have to complicate it. Just get enough content where you're able to break it up on Instagram, put the text, POV, right, and literally you don't have to use any other app. You can do it all on there. You just have to see what other realtors are doing, like a Sarah, like a Tim Smith, like Claudia Soto, right? And then just copy it and test it. You have to see what works for you.
All right, cool. So you also do what you would call value or educational videos. This is kind of like your third bucket of the types of videos that you like to create. So let's give an example of just maybe one or two of your favorite types. Something that is just like mentally in my head that I remember you saying is that you really love to talk about deals. Right, so you're really hunting for maybe what that deal of the week is. So let's give agents just an idea of what value or educational types of videos could look like for them.
Yeah, so programs, right? We all talk about like down payment assistance programs, what type of loan, right? For us, we have a lot of new construction in our area. So we talk about, hey, how to buy a home at 3.99 interest rate. And like 3.99, the rates are at 7 right now. Like, this is crazy. It's a deal, right? I'm able to bring it. And I'm doing a couple of different forms as I'm actually at the place in front of the camera saying, do you want a 3.99 interest rate? This is how you can do it. DM me, blah, 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 for more information. And I kind of go through my spiel. I could also do a green screen. So I take a screenshot or a recording of the actual deal. It could be a Zillow thing. And then I do a green screen on Instagram, not any other app, on Instagram, on like, check out this deal. You're not gonna find another one like it. And then I explain why it's a deal. And then, hey, contact me for more information, right? And I'm constantly looking at what is the market going to offer us. So as I'm looking for homes for our clients, as I'm looking for homes to film, I'm looking at the description, right? Like we had one that had, they're offering seller financing. They can take over the loan because it's a VA and the loan was at 3.5. That's a deal, right? So all I did was go on Zillow, screenshot and say, hey, I can help you lock in a 3.5 interest rate with seller financing. Look at this home. And I started talking more about the home. Hey, comment down below, deal for more information. Boom, 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 deal, deal. And all I'm doing, my job is to create engagement, right? And what the deals are gonna do is create engagement. You're gonna get those people, that's not a deal, you're stupid. Whatever. Like, oh, great, I created engagement, right? So it's super important to do those talking videos. Now, another thing alongside of the home tours, POV videos, the lifestyle location videos and all that is you have to do talking videos. I think it's super important. Start off with the lifestyle location if you're not comfortable yet, but people have to see you. You don't know how many pages I've seen of home tour teams that are just home tours and they're not talking. They're not converting at a high level like we are because people still want to work with people they know, like, and trust. It's hard to trust somebody if they don't know who they are, right? So we're throwing our face out there as much as possible, and the value can be as easy as this home right behind me is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,800 square feet, right? City of Riverside, let's go check it out, right? What am I providing there? I'm providing details about a home that they can see, but now they're seeing me. I'm in front of the camera, right? Like I told my assistant I wanted a shirt that says "I slang homes," right? And he's like, let's put it in the back of your shirt. That look cool. And I'm like, brother, the moneymaker's right here. I want it in front, right? Because I want people to see me. And they're like, oh, yeah, this guy's slang homes. All right, cool. Let's move forward. So I think value talking videos are the most important. The rhythm, if you can do 2-3 of those videos per week, you're going to start seeing some results, right? And then always make sure to have a call to action.
Yes, I love your energy so much. I love your energy so much. And I'm so glad that you just said call to action, because that's what I want to go into next and really spend time here, because I would say that this is hands down your secret weapon.
Yeah.
The way that you, and I wrote down 3 things: the way you use code words, the way you use ManyChat, and the way you use virtual assistants. So those are the 3 parts I would say make up your system that really helped you scale your entire business on social media. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Okay, cool. So let's dive in and let's break down how you use these 3 different components.
Yeah. I think call to actions has separated us. And you see it all the time, but then you see those videos and they're like 1 million views, 2 million views. And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, this video did it great. And I go and no call to action. I'm like, what a missed opportunity. All he needed, or he or she, all they needed was 1 call to action, right? So we have a call to action on almost every single video. Even on my real estate page, we have a call to action. And real simple, it's either gonna be text on screen, I'm gonna say the call to action, comment down below, right? On the video, or in my description. The one that's always important is gonna be the description. You have to have a call to action. So when we do home tours, I'm gonna have 4 call to actions before I get to any details. You're probably thinking like, you're crazy, bro, 4 call to action. Yes, it works. So first one, we do a home tour. It's gonna say, comment DEW for more information. And the reason we do 3 letters, it's real simple for somebody to do 3 letters. If you say, you know, comment Riverside, I'm talking about Riverside. Like, this is crazy, it's too long, right? 3 letters, keep it real simple. And usually we take like the street name, a city, right? Let's say it's Downey, and then let's say the street is, I don't know, Arc Street, so I'll do DAS. Simple. I'm not like doing anything crazy. So I do that call to action. Now, what is that call to action going to bring to my page? Engagement. Instagram doesn't care what type of engagement you're bringing. They just know you're bringing engagement. You know, DEW. So all these people, they might not be interested, but they're bringing me engagement. Now I get more engagement, the algorithm pushes my post further out, right, to the masses. And now, once we get that engagement, we can talk a little bit about the automation after that, but that's the first call to action you want to have. And then typically I have the city right after, and then I'm gonna have another call to action. Text DEW to my CRM number for more details. What is this gonna create? I want people, they're like, I don't wanna comment, I'm gonna text this number. People are willing to do that. Or I get people picking up the phone. Hey, I didn't want to text your code, but what's the information? You sucker, I got your number now, right? Like, we got the info. Like, you didn't want to text or DM. You got this now, so thank you. And now I'm just shoving people into my CRM. And then the last final 2 call to actions. Click the link in our bio to search more homes. Click the link in our bio to schedule a 15-minute call. Now, the last one is going to be my favorite, because the people who schedule a 15-minute call with us, they're going to be the most serious. We're converting those like at a 28% rate. So they don't come always, and we used to get a lot more before, but those are our best leads. So 4 call to actions, they all lead to something, right? But kind of to put all that together with call to actions and then automations, what we'll do is we'll use ManyChat to send them an automatic message. So they comment that, boom, they get a message out. And it's not, here's all the information. It's a little bit of information. So I'm putting the price, a little bit about, location maybe. I never give out the address. And then I say, is this something you're considering? So every time you send a message out, a DM out, always have a question at the end of the DM. You have to continue the conversation. Is this something you're considering? No, and then no, it's too high, crazy, whatever the case may be. Then I could go in and say, hey, what price range are you considering? Is this an area that you're looking in? And I can continue to do that. Now, we can get super complex on our automations on ManyChat where I can have them click a bubble where it says, no, way too high, or yes, that's the right price. And then it'll send them out another message. Yes, right price, perfect. What's a good number? Let's go over some details. Boom, they get a phone number. So sometimes I don't even need my VA to be there to communicate with them. If they say, no, way too high, next question, what's a better price range you're considering? And then I'll give them another bubble, under 500,000 or above $1 million, right? And they're like, well, and if they put none, then we know they're looking in that middle part, right? But all of it is to create engagement. So we all do it with a purpose. They take over. And then let's say you're thinking, well, yeah, the automation's there, but what if we miss automation? Now I have virtual assistants that their only job is to respond to comments and put numbers in the CRM. So what I'm doing this interview right now, we talk about leverage, right? Somebody's responding to a comment, somebody's responding to a DM, somebody's posting for me, someone's even showing a house for me right now. Why? Because we've been able to put all these systems in place to maximize the results into our CRM.
So a couple of things, because you just, I mean,
Unloaded,
there's so much to unpack there, right? So with the code words that you're using, what I think is cool is that it doesn't need to make sense to anybody else, right?
Nope.
It only needs to make sense to you. So it's not like agents need to spend time trying to think of a 3-letter word.
Nope.
You just gave an example of you're using, maybe the first letter of the location, maybe the first letter of the street. So only needs to make sense to you, doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. So I think that's one cool thing to remember. And 3 letters, that's it, right? Yep. No more, no less, 3 letters. The second part that you were talking about with ManyChat, which is a very cool automation system, let's just maybe recap. What is the very first question that you have the system send that gets triggered? Because then after that happens, what I want to just kind of go back to is that now you have a team of virtual assistants. Yeah. So you have human beings who then know they're monitoring this whole time, and they know exactly when to jump in and to start answering questions live as a person. And so they're replacing the automation. So let's just talk about again, where does the automation kind of start and stop, and what is that first question that you're having the ManyChat use?
Yeah, so first question is typically going to be about price, location, or if this is something they're considering. You can kind of mess with it. You're going to have to test. Typically, if we ask, is this a price range you're considering, and they say no, way too high, or yes, we can continue the conversation. Now they gave me the permission to say, hey, well, what price range are you actually looking at? So now I just become a professional, right? And now I'm trying to qualify them, right? Hey, I'm looking at, we got one the other day, and I'm like, hey, we're pre-approved for $270,000. In my market, you can't buy that, right? Our average price point is $650 in our area outside of LA. Knowing that, say, hey, you know what? Are you good with Barstow or 29 Palms, which is like out in the desert? And no, well, we can't help them. We're just going to move on to the next lead. Hey, unfortunately, we can't help you at this moment. We serve these areas, and this is the only thing you can buy, right? And obviously, we're nice about it, and we're professional about it. But you want to focus on continuing the conversation. Now, the magic thing is our VAs know that we don't do any more than about 5 messages. So the key for DMs, and because the focus here, everyone should take this away, is DM to CRM. I don't mess with people in my DMs. They want something from me. I need something from them. So what I do is I have the VA say, hey, after a certain amount of questions, right, find the opportunity to ask for the phone number, right? And then people always ask me, how do you ask for the phone number? Say, hey, let's have a chat. What's a good number to call? Again, I'm the professional, right? I'm the authority. Why am I asking how to get a phone number? It's the easiest thing to do. You just ask for it, right? So you go and you ask for it. Now that gets put into our system, and then one of our ISAs will call, and we're flowing, right? We're moving. But if we go 6, 7, 8, now they're just wasting your time. They're probably going to be tire kickers. Or they'll say, hey, you know what? Let's keep it here on Instagram. I say, cool. I want to be able to give you the details, but this is how we work. I want to be able to have a conversation with you. What's a good number to call? They'll either ignore me or say, hey, I just want the address. I'll put, cool. Good luck. And I'm moving on, right? Because, again, you need something from me, I need something from you. At that point, if it really gets to that point, they're not going to work with you anyway. So it doesn't matter. I'm moving on to the next DM.
Oh my gosh, all of that was so good. And what I'm taking from what you just said is that you are leading everybody down the exact path that you want them to go.
Yeah.
And you just said many times, I'm the professional. So I think it's really great to highlight for everybody and have them remember that, right? To have that belief in themselves, that confidence within themselves, that they are the authority, and to lead everyone down the path that you want them to go. And again, you've set up a system that takes them down that path that you want them to go. So
Yeah.
I think that's really, really important. So there was a time that you were the one that was answering literally hundreds of DMs and comments all by yourself.
Yeah.
Before you had a team, right? So let's go back to that, and maybe can you just talk to everybody, because we have agents watching and listening today. They're at all different places and seasons in their business, and so some are not going to be able to go right away and build a team like
Yeah.
you have, but they can still follow the process and the system that you've put in place. So let's talk a little bit about just what was that grind like when you were the one responding to everything. And then let's talk about, when did you know that it was the right time to start bringing people on so that you could scale? Because I want everyone, again, who's with us to be able to identify, okay, now is probably a good time for me to consider adding people to my team.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Kind of going back to almost the beginning, right? Like, how can you become obsessed, right? People always talk about, being obsessed, it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing, right? Like, I'm obsessed with being the best husband I can be, being the best father I can be. I'm obsessed with that, right? Same thing with my business, right? How can I become the best at it? So when we're first starting out, I'll start with this. You need to find out, is social media the way you want to get business? If it is, go all in and create the engagement. Because without engagement, none of this matters. So don't worry about leads. Don't worry about all that. Worry about creating engagement so you have people to talk to on the comments. You have people to talk to in your DMs. And then for me, it was a lot of late nights and early mornings, right? Back when I think we only, at the time we had one kid. So I was able to go to the gym super early. At 4 a.m., I was like waking up. I'm at gym at 5 o'clock. From 5 to 7, I'm working out, but I'm also answering DMs and comments, right? And then I get out of the sauna. I go home, answer DMs and comments, right? I'm trying to set my next appointment. And then I would talk to my wife and say, hey, you know what? I know we love to watch Netflix, chill out, later at night, but for the next 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to be answering comments and DMs, right? So you're thinking, like, man, you had to take that home? Yes, that's what it takes. Right? And it came to a certain point in my life where now I'm able to get appointments and I'm closing deals. I'm able to set some money aside to say, hey, it's been 6, 7, 8 months, almost a year of, these late nights, super early mornings. Now I've got the closings. Now it's time to get some leverage, right? Hey, and it started super easy. Hey, I just need you to answer all the comments. I'll still handle all the DMs. So now they're creating engagement for me, and I'm going in the DMs and just cleaning everything up. After a while, it's like, all right, now I got a couple buyers agents. I can't do the DMs anymore. Okay, now I need somebody else to handle the DMs, and now they're handling DMs. So it's all about evolving, right? We all want to be at the top, and we all want to have these VAs, and we want to have all these systems. But the first thing is create the engagement, and then have a vision for where you want your business to go with social media. Is it to create a team? Is it to be a $50 million producer? Great, start attacking that today, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And that's all I did. Every single day, I showed up, right, to say, hey, I'm gonna create engagement, I'm gonna create these DMs, and then I started building out leverage. And one of my buddies was like, hey, I know a VA team. I was like, perfect, let's try them out. Hey, this guy worked out, this one didn't, let's fire them, let's pick another one, right? Like, they're human beings, but at the same time, like, we're running a business, and we had to find the right people, and we did find the right team. We've been working them for about 3.5 years now.
Oh my gosh, you just hit so many buzzwords for me. Being obsessed and having a vision. I hope everybody heard that. And I love how you said, and you really kind of, I hope, gave a new lens to that word, that is not a bad thing.
It's not.
Right? I love that because to me, that just equals passion.
Yeah.
I think you have to be so 100% passionate about what you're doing in order to really reach the level of the highest success, right? I mean, pro athletes, and I mean, anybody, Olympians. I'm obsessed with trying to figure out, what makes people like that tick. How did they actually get there? And it's the same thing for you. And you just said it. It's because you're absolutely obsessed with what you do. I think that's awesome. So I want to read something back to you that you shared with me. And this is so, so important. You said, most people scroll for entertainment. I scroll with purpose. My feed is full of realtors because I want to see what's working. The content, the hooks, the songs, and I've trained the algorithm to feed me more of what I want to see.
That's right.
So to me, I made myself a note that you're not just scrolling, you're studying.
Yeah.
You are studying. You have become a master at studying the game of social media.
That's right.
And that's why you've become so successful. I mean, a million other reasons why, but that's one, right? So what would you say to everybody watching and listening who aren't seeing the results that they want from social media yet? What would you want to share with them?
Yeah, you do have to scroll with purpose, right? I call it scrolling with purpose because we all want to scroll no matter what, right? Like where it's like we're addicted to it. We want to go and scroll. So what I did to not like almost trick the algorithm, right, is I told it what I wanted to watch. So anything inappropriate that would pop up into my explore page, I would hold it and I would put not interested. Anything that I enjoyed, like somebody doing a home tour, these houses, I would hold the video and I would put interested, right? And then I'll start engaging with those pages, like. So now you look at my feed and it's all realtors, right? Because that's what I want to, that's who I want to study, right? That's who I'm trying to say, hey, so-and-so is working, the POV video is working for them. That's working for them, right? And all I'm doing is stealing their ideas, like literally, right? People are thinking, oh my gosh, well, so-and-so did, I don't want to do that, right? Perfect. Well, I like to make a joke, right? But the rapping realtor, I can never do that, right? And he does it probably at a great level, or they do it at a high level. I won't do that. So I'm not going to look at his stuff. I want to look at other stuff. And so I do this, and I do it almost daily. And I'm looking, like, oh man, that was a good idea. I need to do that. And then I'll send it to one of my other pages, and I'll send videos to recreate them. So as I'm scrolling, I'm sending videos. And at the same time, this is one of this is going to be a huge thing right here. I save music. So as I'm scrolling, if I hear a song like, oh, this is great, or a sound, I save it. So now when I go create content, I don't have to scroll for 40 minutes trying to find the perfect song to line up. I already have a bank of songs that I know are doing well right now that are going to do really well. So I'm saving content, I'm saving sounds, right? And then I'm getting some inspiration on the type of content. And it's real easy. You just have to go out and test it, right? Once you find that content that works, go out and do it. And don't be so worried about what everybody thinks, right? I dress a certain way, like, Eddie got me wearing a sports jacket today. I never do that. I'm just wearing a jean jacket. I have like 20 jean jackets, guys. And I always wear black jeans, black shirt, and Nikes, right? That's how I dress. You're so worried about being somebody else. This is who I am. Right? The hair, I used to have a long mullet. I don't care, right? I'm going to be myself. I'm going to show up, and then I'm going to take somebody else's content. I'm going to put my own spin on it, and I'm going to make it mine.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So would it be fair to say that it took you a little while to find your path?
Yeah.
To find your rhythm. And I remember you sharing with me that you had a coach in high school who said something very powerful to you that really, in your words, helped you find your superpower. So take us back to that moment. Can you remember what he said to you, and what lesson can we teach everybody today from that moment in your life?
Yeah, I remember I was a junior in high school. I was going on a second year varsity football starter, and I'm jogging off the field. I had a terrible game, the worst game, probably one of the worst games of my career. And I'm jogging off, and I'm supposed to be a captain and all this. And my coach told me, and I hope I don't butcher this, but he told me, he's like, stop pretending to be part of the game right? And become a player in the game. And so when he told me that, I was like, you know, you're right. I've been putting on a show this whole time of like, man, look at me. I'm a leader. I'm a captain, second-year starter. Like, I look really cool. And we like to do that with social media at the same time, right? We like to say, hey, look at us. But really, what are we doing? So what helped me realize that is, number one, I'm super talented. And number two, that I need to go all in. And since that moment, I knew, again, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the biggest, but I'm going to work harder than anybody else. And that's going to be my superpower, that I'm willing to do more than most. And if you're willing to do more than most, there's no way you can fail. There's no way. Why? Because our biggest battle right now is going to be this thing right here. This is our biggest battle, right? What are we fighting? We're not fighting the competition. We're fighting distraction. So we're so distracted in the world where if I'm just willing to do more than others, I'm going to win. And so he gifted me that, right? He gifted that to me, I want to say, I'm not going to age myself here, but like 17 years ago, that was a gift that he gave me. And he doesn't even know that I still remember that to this day.
That is beautiful. I love it. Okay, so Robert, don't go anywhere. Live streamers, don't go anywhere. We're going to come right back. We're going to do a quick mortgage minute because there's always great value in what's going on in the market right now. So I would love for you to help me. Welcome to the show, a 30-year veteran in this industry, Miss Irma De Leon. Say hello to Irma.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. Robert, I love your story. It's just amazing. You came from humble beginnings, and you know, I'm a believer as well, and we all know that we can't have a testimony without the test.
That's right.
Yep. And so the fact that you stayed your path, even when you were calling out to the Lord, and he heard you, and he blessed you, and he gave you these superpower, and I love how you put that, these
Amen.
gifts, and that you honor him every single day in everything that you do. So congratulations on your success, and thank you so much for coming out here, especially from California to Chicago.
That's been
so
great.
Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you
give
so
him a
much.
round of applause.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Irma De Leon, and I've been in the mortgage business a little over 30 years, and I'm a proud single mother of 2 amazing sons. So now it's summer, you know, the sun is out, especially out here in Chicago. We, you know, sometimes don't get the sun out here, but it's been pretty steady here recently. And on the weekends, we're probably, you know, attending some cookouts. And also, it's the season of graduations, right? So some of us might be attending graduations for children that are graduating from kindergarten up to 1st grade, or middle school to high school, or from college entering the workforce. I had a great question this week from Mr. Cesar Hernandez here in Chicago, and the question was, Irma, I have a client that has a son who just graduated college. Is he able to buy a home? And you know what? The answer is yes, because we will look at the work history as a 2-year work history for him. And guess what? With some of the programs, we can actually have mom and dad give him a gift of 100% for the down payment and closing costs. And they might even be able to qualify for a down payment assistance. So I hope you found that helpful. Know that when you go to these cookouts and you see somebody graduating, especially from college, or even on Facebook as you're scrolling, make sure that you reach out, and they might be interested in buying a home. So all they would need would be their offer letter, and they can actually start looking for a home and get financing even before they start their job. How cool is that? So take advantage of that. If there's any other questions you might have, because my goal is to give you value with empowering all of you to go out there and help everybody purchase homes. If you have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram, which is Mortgages by Irma, and DM me. And also my team is here to help. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the show, and make it a great day. And don't forget to thrive in 2025. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Irma. Okay, Irma and her team would love to help you. So our production team is going to throw up, that just didn't come out right.
Put up.
Welcome to live TV, right?
Yeah.
So they are going to put up a QR code for you. So text the word Sun West if you do not see that pop up in your text messages. There's also a phone number on there, and you can text the word Sun West, and Irma and her team can answer any questions for you in the industry. So Robert, oh my gosh, I mean, this time has gone by so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just sit and talk to you for hours, literally. You have been such a joy. I love your energy. I love your passion. I love your obsession. So I'm going to wrap it up with one final question, which is, if you could go back to the version of you who had literally $20 in your bank account, what would you say to him?
Continue to show up, show out, go all in. It's going to work itself out. Be faithful, be consistent, and do more than most.
Amen. That's a mic drop, Mama, right there. Thank you so much for being with us today. Oh my gosh, this has been so special. I have loved every minute of our conversation. I hate that we have to say goodbye. I want you to come back. Everybody, all of our live streamers, thank you so much for being with us today and every single Friday. We are here every Friday at 11 a.m. Central. We will be back next week with another top producer. And the best way to find out who that is going to be is to follow us on Instagram, America's Real Estate Show, and on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that notify button so that you always know when we are about to go live. Thank you again for being with us today. I will look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Ashley. Bye for now.